could be floating around the Target store like they do here with nothing in their hands. And don't think this is specific to any one race either.
Nope.
These are Cadillacs. These are gorgeous vehicles pulling up with people of all races pulling this off. Okay? The #2 state for human trafficking. And it is happening all over. I don't care where you live, how safe you feel. I don't care about any of that. You better hear me when I tell you. One of my coaches is a detective. He can tell you stories that would keep you up at night if you have a wife or children. I'm telling you, you better take it in. Every vehicle parked out here, there's 2 of them parked in the back of this lot right now where people are just sitting suspiciously, and I'm in the back of a Target parking lot. Why? What are you doing in the back of the parking lot for a half hour now? Who are you looking for? And you're watching this and you're able to share my video, share it, and understand that we all need to be talking about this. There's so much going on in this country right now, and everybody wants to fight with everybody. Here's something we can all stand behind. None of us, not one person watching this video or on this planet should be and will ever be okay with anybody getting taken. Okay? I think we can all agree on that one, right?
And you know, guys, you know how we love the movie fucking Taken? That was like one of the biggest subliminal messages that we got back then. Like, when was that movie released? Like 2008, 2009? It was just like, we were all so in awe because of how the dad, and this dad is the same way. He's infuriated. Like, he done went back to the places to watch these people. Because that quickly, those 2 females could have been out of his life for good. No trace of where to even look. Because it's so big and it happens everywhere. In multiple parts of different cities. You know how there's a state and then multiple cities? In the cities are multiple people working to bring somebody from just that city. It's my first time watching this video, but I'm glad I'm watching it on camera because his message needs to be shared because it is this serious.
Keep your eyes peeled, look around for people, keep your eye on, you know, if you're in a shopping place, especially if you're a male, keep an eye out for a woman who may be shopping with her young children, heading out to the parking lot. Keep your eyes peeled when you're leaving because you just never know. You never know if that person could use an extra set of eyes. And the price tags that they're putting on kids' heads, and even adult women, and I'm telling you, it's in so many cities, and because we have access to the Canada Bridge, it's scary. If you haven't looked it up or you don't know how prevalent it is, do a little bit of reading, okay? We almost feel like maybe we can bait some idiot to maybe make a wrong move here, and I can get out of the car and beat them senseless.
Beat the fuck out of them?
I don't know. This is just craziness, but I'm telling you, this is something that needs to be talked about a lot more, and I feel like it's not. Boy, the media loves to cover all the hatred in the world right now, but they don't want to talk a whole lot about kids and people getting taken and how much this stuff is happening.
Say that again for me.
When you out here watching, you know, it's almost like a situation where we almost feel like maybe we can bait. Because
let me tell you this, I was talking to my boyfriend about this today or yesterday. I was like, because I've been watching a lot of videos and documentaries. I've been doing a lot of research on human trafficking. Because this, bro, the shit happened where I'm at. And there's like no coverage on the shit. And the thing is, bro, like it happens so much. There's never no coverage on it. Like you don't hear any coverage on it. We barely see missing people fucking flyers and shit up, and we barely see missing people reports on the TV, on the news. They don't even report missing people on the fucking news no more because they're covering this shit up because the people aren't missing, they're being taken. A lot of times, like, you know how back in the day a lot of people were getting kidnapped and going missing? Well, bro, the new age kidnap is fucking sex trafficking because there's a price on you. Yeah, they can kidnap you and do what they want, but before they drop you off, they are getting paid. And don't nobody talk about this shit. You want to know why? Because all the people in power have a fucking foot in this shit. I kid you not. This is like one of the biggest revenues going on right now. It's fucked up. People's kids, daughters, like fucking 5-year-olds, bro. People's moms, sisters, wives disappear. And they don't even know where to start to look to trace. Because for one, the police is not going to help you. They're going to dismiss it. I was doing research and been watching documentaries to learn their tactics and how they approach you and what they might wear or what they might say to too aware of myself because they won't put this shit on the news when it is the biggest problem today. This shit happens 24/7. Like, my mom's apartment is right behind like a fucking shopping center's, like the back of a shopping center. There's trucks that go in and out of this shit all the time, bro. All the time. I used to work right next to a truck stop, bro. One of the truck drivers at my old job came in and told me about 2 victims that he's seen running out of a parking lot, a truck parking lot that's in the same parking lot as my grandma's apartment complex. Naked with blood running down their legs, hand ties, speaking Spanish, can't speak English, scared, crying, 6 and 7, 6 o'clock in the morning. All right around me, bro. The fuck? That shit is fucking crazy. But yet, and I don't watch the news, but when it is on, bro, they don't say shit about this. And my mom, she watches the news. Just to know what is going on in the city because she has 3 kids, she watches the news. Just to know what violence is in what areas so we can be a little bit more protected, she watches the news. And they don't ever say shit about that shit up there. Ever. Ever. The way that story, I was able to spread that story about those 2 girls was me. Because the girl at my job told me about it, and I told everybody I could fucking tell about that shit, period. Because I was already getting itching feelings that this human trafficking shit was going on around where I worked at. Because I worked right next door to a truck stop. I mean, I took the trash out, and the fence behind the trash can is the truck stop. One time I was taking, and every time I took the trash out, I had my taser in hand because I was aware. I kept my eyes open, and it made no sense that I was working with 3 fucking men, and I will always have to take the trash out at night. You know, I had men calling at me from across at the truck stop, asking me do I need help and shit. You know, I'm so glad I can stand my ground, and I'm aware to certain shit like this. But just think about the naive, or somebody's little girl, or anything, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's sick, and it really happens, and these niggas don't talk about it. They don't put no coverage on it. They don't care. They don't try to help you. They don't try to figure it out. Everybody has a foot in this shit. It's sick. It's so sick. It's inhumane, and humans are doing it. That shit enrages me, and that is why I'm making this video. And I didn't know how to start off this video. I just was like, okay, I'm gonna go to a website, and I'm gonna look at the first 5 tactics that they say they might use on you. And you know, I scrolled past this video, and that was my first time watching it, and I just happened to have my camera on. And his message is so powerful because it's so fucking true. And if you're fed up enough, you feel and hear everything he fucking saying. If you're woke enough, you hear everything he fucking saying. You don't have to be asleep to see the wrong in this fucking situation. Nigga, this shit is happening around you. You living in it. Wake the fuck up and protect the fucking women in your life. Protect the men too, because they kidnapping men. They do men trade too. You got a hole, nigga, they're gonna sell you. Period. Niggas are sick.
They don't want to talk a whole lot about kids and people getting taken and how much this stuff is happening and the price tags that are on people's heads and the stuff that you post on Facebook, that they take your pictures, they take your info, they create these internet-based profiles of your kids, of where to find your people. It's incredible. I'm telling you, I heard it out of this detective's mouth. They could be floating around the Target store like they do here with nothing in their hands, and don't think this is specific to any one race either.
Nope.
These are Cadillacs. These are gorgeous vehicles pulling up with people of all races pulling this off, okay? Are willing to risk anything to do so. They're fearless. I wish they would have the live security video of the situation that happened to my wife, and you could see how fearless these 3 cars were that surrounded her and how serious this situation is. She wanted to make a video about this, and I think she's nervous, so I'm making the video for her. Got to start looking out for people. We got to start caring more. You know, we're so busy wanting to fight over the dumbest crap in this world anymore. We need to care about the real threats going on, and this is real.
Yes.
Taking children and taking women is real. Scary.
Yeah. Thank you. This guy's name is, he's a Michigan resident, and his name is Nahar Ali. And he posted this on his Facebook in March 15th. So he recorded that around in March, and that's just back in March. So a couple of tactics that they might try to use to lure a victim in. They will use a level boy technique. So this technique is they'll be extremely attractive, sweet talker. I'm not even reading the article anymore, but I can just picture what he might come up and say, like, hey, how you doing? Maybe if you're in a bar, can I buy you a drink? Might drug your drink, so be careful about that. dance with you the whole night, ask for you to come back to his hotel room, don't do it. Offer to drop you off home, don't get in his car, don't do it. You know, simple stuff like that after trying to get a emotional connection out of you because you're attracted. That's like an emotion, like, oh my god, like, oh, he's so fine, I can't get it, I can't, oh my god, why he's so fine, why he's so fine. No, okay, that's Temptation. Have you seen Temptation by Tyler Perry? It's like the devil in fucking a man's clothes. Okay, don't do that shit. You get a bad feeling or iffy feeling in your gut sometimes. If something's telling you to look back, look back. Feel like somebody's behind you, they might be. Feel like somebody's watching you, they might be. Trust, not even might. If you have the feeling initially in your gut, you are correct. That is your intuition. Okay. But loverboy techniques, somebody's extremely attractive trying to grab your attention by compliments or their attraction or expressing their attraction to you. You know, so just be a little, or even if they're a little pushing, let me take you out, please, let me take you out. Okay, well, if you can't go at 7, I can go at 8. Or if they push, you know, just pick up on stuff that just seems a little fucking off. A fake job advertisement. And let me tell you, when I read this, it scared me. I feel like I could have been a victim of a fake job advertisement and been fucking like MIA. You know, the type of person I am, I always feel like I'm good, I can stand my ground. You know, I'm a very determined person. It's just the way that I am. That's the way I come off. So me, I can just see myself, man, and it's just crazy because when I read that, I just seen me, like, bro, no. And I'm glad that I did go and click on this blog because this was not a tactic that I was aware of, but it makes a lot of sense, and I probably applied to some of these shits, you know. So they do this by posting fake job ads, and yeah, they do this by posting fake job ads and for a fake company. And they'll tell you to come to an interview with this location, or this interviews at this time. It's just a fake offer of employment. Now let me just read what this says. Traffickers love to prey on the desperate, and when times are rough, there's plenty of desperation to go around. A trafficker may advertise for a nanny, travel agent, or other jobs in the tourism or hospitality industries. When the victim shows up for the interview, any documents they brought with them are seized, and the victim is subject to physical, emotional, and psychological abuse. Always do some background research on any company that invites you for an interview. Oftentimes, a simple internet search can tell you if the company is real or fake. Now, let me just tell you why you have to be careful about this. Desperate job seekers go to desperate measures to try to get a job. And I know this because I have been there multiple times. Like, I even was doing this like 3 days ago, and this is why I mean, when I read this, it like almost fucking like was like a knife. Like, it was a sharp ass pain that I felt in my heart, like I lost my breath for a second. Like, it was scary because I do this, and I've communicated, this happened to me. This happened. Like, I mean, I'm so glad that intuition just itches, bro. And, you know, I was so unaware, and I'm thinking about another situation now. Like, guys, I'm protected by a fucking angel. I'm so thankful, because I'm thinking about this shit right now, and I could not be here. And it's a reason that all this shit is sticking out to me right now. Wow. Oh, my God. Yo, this shit has, like, happened, like, 3 times to me. And they did not fall through, and I did not know why. But bro, it's so crazy. It was tactics. But Craigslist, I mean, like I said, I've been in this predicament multiple times, like desperately wanting a job, quick money coming in, like I need money. And I have a clean ass background, so I don't mind applying to any fucking thing because I know I'm gonna get approved. You're gonna like me, I'm reliable, and I'm fucking fast, and I want my money like any other grown person, you know what I'm saying? When I kind of lose hope on like sites like Indeed and Snag a Job and wherever else you can go to look and see if they're hiring, I go to Craigslist. Craigslist have never failed me with anything that I've looked for in life. it's always jiggity people up there. Like, I scroll past jiggity eggs and I know when they're jiggity, like, the fuck. But I mean, guys, like, it's like even gigs, because you know, I do music. It's low-key, you know. People don't really view it. I don't really promote it. I don't really perform. I don't perform it, but I do record music, just like for expression, and to, like, you know, it's music. That's my way of expressing. Like, so I do music. Oftentimes I'll go back and forth in my head about maybe I should perform somewhere, or maybe I should see if someone's like looking for performers, or maybe I should look for like a audition, like a musical audition or something. Like I always go on this section of Craigslist. It's called gigs, okay? And I even sent my friend, oh my god, this shit has been so close on my ass. Like, I'm so thankful. The last job I had, I found on Craigslist. Okay, cool. It was a sub job, and like I said, it was a sub job right next to the truck stop. Cool, it was a great job, whatever, but it just didn't work out. Like I said, it was communication issues, and like I feel like a bump within egos, period. Like, I have masculine energy, and I was working with niggas. Like, some niggas just really don't expect for females to be obeying. I mean, some niggas expect for females to be just obeying, and I'm not obeying to any fucking nigga at all. Like, I only obey God, nigga, and I listen to my father when he advised some things, but don't nobody tell me what the fuck to do. I'm not with that fucking you're my pet type shit, because they do that in other countries, and some other people really think that way. So I feel like Craigslist is like a last resort for anything. Like, if you want a job really bad, go to Craigslist. You wanna find a house like ASAP within the next month, go to Craigslist. Like, that's just how I've always used Craigslist, as like a last resort, but it always like came through for me. When I didn't have a job, now this one is what like shook me, that I just remember. So about 2 months ago, or I want to say around my birthday month, I had went to the studio. I recorded Cluttered, and this is before I released Badass Brownskin, the little small SEP. I recorded Cluttered. The producer that recorded Cluttered, he told me that he worked at Cox, and that he could give me a job with Cox, because I was telling him I worked at the sub shop or whatever, and it's alright. And he told me he could give me a job with Cox to pay about $15 and some change an hour, or I think $15.75 or something like that. And he can give me a job because he's a manager there or whatever. And I was like, cool, because I've had hella studio sessions at the studio. Like, I know all these people very well. It was like, give me a job at Cox, $15.75. I was like, really? Because I've been applying to Cox. Like, I had an interview one time, but the guy, like, it was with a Cox. Let me tell you guys this, and I kid you not, like, this shit is crazy. I was like, really? I had an interview with Cox. The guy, he had an ad on Craigslist, and I had missed his call, so he left me a voicemail. And when I left him a voicemail back, he told me that he wasn't interested anymore. And then I called him, and then he told me he wasn't looking for anybody anymore for the thing, and hung up like rudely in my ear. He was like, first off, no, Cox does not post any postings on Craigslist. He was like, don't trust that. Please don't trust that. I was like, oh, wow, okay. And you know, guys, that shit skipped my mind like that until I started talking about this job, like the fake job shit, because I didn't even know that till I looked at this article. But bitch, that guy told me, like, the producer that produced that song Cluttered, he offered me a job at Cox. He told me he could give me a job there. Like, he's a higher worker. Like, he's a fucking manager, you know. And I'm like, oh, that's great, whatever. But I did hear him when he was offering me the job. It was like, if you want it, you know, you can just, like, I can hook it up for you or whatever. I can set up an interview. I was like, okay, cool. But when I told him about this story, he was like, he was like, no, Cox does not post any ads on Craigslist. Don't trust that ad on Craigslist. Please don't trust that ad. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I looked a little concerned, like, oh, okay, like, dang, because, like, I dad had a interview, like a phone interview with this guy. Like, they dad had my number. Like, I see this ad all the time. I scroll past it all the time. Like, I applied to it like 3 times. The 3rd time when they finally called me back, and he tells me, like, the actual Cox worker is like, no, it didn't hit me. Oh my god. And this shit, it woke me up like, wow. And that guy warned me, like, no, please don't fucking take no job, don't take no Cox job off Chris, because that is not our Cox. That's not Cox. It's not Cox, I'm telling you. Oh, the other one that I want to tell you about. One time, It was like back in January when my family was moving, and in the midst of the move, I didn't have housing for a while. I would spend majority of the day in my car, majority of the day at my grandma's house. My grandma can't have not clients, she can't have people stay in her apartment, just her. So I would stay with my grandma like for the whole day, or stay in my car for like 12 hours or 10 hours of the day until my boyfriend got home, then sleep with him or whatever. So I became desperate and I was looking for low income housing. Okay, I wasn't a runaway or anything like that, but I became desperate. I was looking for low income housing, or how to get housing for low income, or shelters. I was looking for female shelters, family shelters, like anything. But I was really scared because like I've never like been to any of those places or done any of those things like by myself before. I went to Craigslist. I was just looking for like low income housing or housing for rent or roommates or whatever, right? Then I started searching like free housing or, you know, shit like that. This ad comes up. I remember it not. That shit still sits with me to this day. I remember telling my friend about it, showing her the pictures of this place. Like, it was so scary, guys, because it happened so quick and I just didn't understand. So and this is like one of the closest calls bro, that I've had. Like, and it did not take for this fucking realization of like the job shit, because the #1 place that I go looking for a job in desperate measures is Craigslist. And people, like they said in the article, they look for people in desperate times, in tough times, runaways, in rough situations. They look for people in fucked up situations at the time. Okay, like I said, I'm not a runaway, I'm just in a fucked up situation, look for a job, pretty desperate, you know what I'm saying, so I can get me some housing. You know, even still here, I don't really have no room. Like, I don't stay here, but I do want my own place, my own space. Still, that's still fucking go. So I came across this ad, you know, and it was on Craigslist. It was like free housing for women, and it was a house. Oh my god, I cannot believe this. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb, and I was so desperate and so weak at the time, guys. Like, I was crying every day in my car for hours, praying for hours, like contemplating back and forth from like wanting to be here or not, like some low level shit that I haven't been in a very long time. Like, it was like one of the roughest and hardest times of my life, period. Personally, like, it was one of the roughest fucking times of my life ever. I did not think I was gonna make it through, you know, but there's always some shit you just can't see. Like, I never would have thought I'd be sitting in front of my camera with my light and got my laptop in the back over there. But there's an ad on Craigslist. It's like housing for women. It's a house, you know, it's a lot of trees in the background. It's a 1-story house. Looks pretty much like built in the 70s. Not renovated. The grass isn't cut. You go on the inside, like there's a flat screen, some like old decorations. Bedroom, there's this old bed. There's this old bed with like a old motel like blanket on top. The room just looked like, I mean, I'm looking at the picture and it's like I'm in the room, like I could feel the fucking aura through the picture or some shit. But bro, it's so dark, and like, it's light outside, but it's so dark, like gloomy. Something about that room was so fucking dark. I couldn't see myself laying on that bed. Not because it's the who am I to complain? I houseless, okay? I'm not trying to be ungrateful or nothing like that, but I do have the choice of deciding if I want to go or not, you know what I'm saying? Just 2 couches, they have like the little plastic on it. They were old couches. and it had one flat screen TV. That was the only thing that looked modern in the apartment. It's like a 35-inch sitting on this stand. And I get these pictures after I text the number and tell them that I'm interested, or I was asking them, do they still have space available for women that are looking for housing. Text me back immediately, said yes. How old are you? I told them I was 20. I said, could I see the pictures first? That's when I got the pictures. And the whole conversation was just so bland and dry. Something was off about it, because it was like I didn't get an introduction. I don't know who this person was. They didn't tell me, hi, I'm so and so. I actually have 2 rooms available. 3 of them are occupied right now by 2 local residents. Like, it wasn't like explained, welcoming. Like, nothing about this shit was welcoming. Okay, so that's also something, like, number one. Like, it wasn't welcoming. So why do you have your house up for pretty much free, for freeloaders, you know, pretty much people, homeless people, but you're not welcoming? Maybe I'm a little paranoid, but at the time when I was looking at the pictures, I seen a couple things in it that threw me off and gave me a bad vibe. For one, the brown couch, the first 2 seats were sunken lower than the third one. On the pool table, there are no pool balls. This is the only room in the house that had carpet, and the carpet was stained in a couple of spots. This other couch on the side, I couldn't see the full picture of it, so there's no telling what's on the other seat. The window near the door, you can't see out of it, but there's no blinds on the outside, so I don't know if it's boarded up on the outside. And also the curtains are covered on this other window, so there was a couple of things that was just off. The trap for homeless people, homeless women, like, it was specified, housing for women, free housing for women, you know. And I mean, it's like, why the fuck would you click on that? But bitch, like, when you're in a fucked up ass mindset, you just want to get on your feet. You're desperate. And that's why it hit like that when I read that little bit through fake jobs. Because when people are looking through fake jobs, they are desperate. They're desperate for money, because they got either kids or a family that they have to have a roof over their head, or they're desperate because they're homeless and they need a job so they won't be homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a desperateness wrapped in all of that, and I was desperate. Yes, for both. At the time, I didn't have no job, so I was looking for somewhere to stay. You know? I didn't want to be a bother on nobody. I don't want to be that person. I was looking for somewhere to stay. I just stopped responding because I was scared. I got scared. I felt this feeling in my stomach. I got scared. I stopped responding. So then they called me. And that's when I really got scared, because I didn't understand why they were like so pushy all of a sudden when they weren't welcoming at first, you know. But they called me and I got really scared. And on the number, it tells you what city, like, it's coming from, the call's coming from. So I knew, like, and it was the same number that texted me, but it said the city when they called me, so I declined. I'm like, I'm not calling them. They called me again and again, like, and I'm declining. I'm like, it's ringing like 2 times, I'm declining. They call again, decline. Now I'm getting like terrified, like, oh my fucking god, these are some fucking crazy ass people. These are some crazy people. And they call me again, I decline. Another number calls me from the same city. That's why that city was important. Right after I declined the other number, decline. That number calls me again, decline. I blocked both of those numbers. Now, when I get calls from that city, I feel a little like, you know, but sometimes it's just like collectors, scammer collectors, and I hang up before they can say shit anyway. But those, for a while, like for like a week and a half, I stopped answering calls from that city. That shit was so close because I did not know, and I was contemplating going, and the house was in the woods somewhere, and the number that it was calling from is a rural area. So imagine me traveling out here thinking I'm gonna Find somewhere to stay, get set up, get on my feet. They get you at your weakest point. You know, you guys gotta be careful. Traffickers prefer the vulnerable victims like the homeless and young runaways. They do occasionally choose other targets like moms and daughters that are going to grocery stores, and that's when they lead to his video. But yes, just be careful about where you are going, because some people just will straight up abduct you, like snatch your ass in the van and drive the fuck off because they want their money. Some guys may come up to you, women will come up to you crying through the window, please can I use your phone, please, like breaking down crying like I lost my daughter, please can I use your phone, please can I use your phone. If they ask to use your phone, tell them that you will call the police for you. Tell them that you will call the police for them, and make sure that your doors are locked, your windows are up, and your door is shut. Do not have your door cracked. I watched a video, the girl's door was cracked. She corrected herself in her explanation. She knew that was wrong, but always keep your door shut. If anything, crack a little bit of the window. Don't even do that. I don't like having anybody that's a stranger, don't give them no access to you, your face, nothing. You don't know what they have ready to do. You don't know what they have set to do. Okay, so I say leave your window up, because I can hear perfectly through my fucking window, especially if you're trying to talk to me through my window. The fuck. Okay, so leave your window up, door shut, and your door is locked. If they're crying and begging and something just seems off and she came out of fucking nowhere and you're the only person, and then say you'll call the police for them. If somebody ran out of gas, say you'll call the police for them. Do not follow them anywhere. Do not follow nobody behind a building. If anybody says anything behind of a building, do not follow them behind a building, ever. Do not go or walk past the back of a building or to the back of the parking lot. Do not park far from your car in a parking garage without somebody walking with you or somebody escorting you, especially at late night hours. If you are scared, ask an employee to escort you or go with you to escort you, and they will do that. They can do that because of your safety. It's no wrong in being 100% safe. There's nothing wrong with asking for some protection. We'll try to use tactics like, hey, my wife and my daughter, like one guy, he was like, my wife and my daughter, they're around building, I just need you to park back, like on some fuck shit. Like, bro, you didn't even finish the first sentence, like you're lying. But they might say something to make you feel more comfortable as a female about, hey, yeah, me and my wife and my daughter were stuck back in this truck over there, can you come back and help me? I can't get the thing to start. No, none of that shit. Like, people really try to get you with emotional tactics. They try to emotionally get you involved, because empathy. The normal person has an emotional, emotion. Okay, so it should trigger something. They try to trigger and they use it as a tactic. So you just gotta be careful, and please be careful with online, because I did not even think about that shit like that. Even if you're going on a blind date, meeting somebody from a website profile, and no, just, you know, be careful. Bring somebody with you. Go somewhere really public. You know, if they don't show up and they say they're there and you're just looking around, they're not there, go back to your car, go home. They're not the person that you're looking for. You know, just be very careful and cautious. If you got to, bitch, study Law and Order. Study some documentaries on YouTube. You can watch them. They're like hours long. They're 30 minutes long. You might not like watching shit for a long amount of time, but it is very informative, and it just really helps open your eyes. So if I can, I will try to link some videos and documentaries in my description if I remember to, and I just really hope you guys can take something from this video. With that being said, I love you all so much. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with another video soon. Badass Brown Skin out.